Okay, I'm not the most organized when it comes to these videos, guys, but today I'm going to show you guys what an editing pass looks like. And I've got a lot of books that are in progress, as you guys know, especially when you look at my RoyalRoad, because today we are recording on RoyalRoad. I'm going to do a editing thing on A Witch's Life, because it's been about 6 chapters since I've decided to do an editing pass. Now, when you log into RoyalRoad, you won't be into the dashboard right away, okay? So um, let's make this a little easier for you guys so you see more of what RoyalRoad is. It's pretty much like Wattpad. So what it is it's a writing and reading platform, right? So this is what my homepage would look like when I'm logged in, right? And if I scroll down, it'll give me updates that books are being written, which books have the newest updates, um, rising stars, who has the most followers, stuff that have been following, best completed books that are on the platform, stuff like that. You can also wind up linking this to your Patreon and PayPal to help get an audience built, which is phenomenal, especially when you're a starting author and you don't have an audience. So, I mean, building that audience that is really interested in what you're doing can be freaking amazing. So I'm going to open up my profile here, if we can get it to cooperate this time. It seems like my computer's having a hard time doing this today. There we go. Author dashboard. Now I'm going to show you guys the editing pass because I figure this is actually... So, up in this part, you'll see author dashboard, your submissions, notes, write-a-thon, and stuff. If you guys are just new to the platform entirely, you want to submit a book, that's where you go, submissions. You're going to need your first chapter, and you're going to need the information and cover about your book, obviously. Now, this has been in progress for a while now, so let's I don't feel like I'm spoiling too much for you guys by doing an editing packs. So, because a lot can change in this book still. And this isn't an award winner yet. I haven't put this in for an award winner, so I don't feel like I'm losing anything on this. Okay, so if I want to edit this chapter, I go edit chapter. Now, this looks confusing at first, but it's still loading. It'll load your code and everything. So, for the pre-chapter author note, I didn't even put one in here, so hello. Welcome to my novel series opener, The Bloodline Curse, which will be having 2 more titles to the saga. There we go. So, there we go. That's the editing for that part, just because I want to add that. So, the first rule of editing is, obviously, this has been edited a lot, right? The first chapter, so this may not be your best example. See, these guys are supposed to be a line apart. So we go boom, right? We want to have all of our spacing line up the same way. And unless there is a spelling mistake or a grammar mistake, we don't want to touch this right now, because I've already been doing a lot of editing. I'm not reading anything out loud right now. I'm just going to find it. See, this says it's a spelling mistake, okay? In America, the only difference is the U. I'm Canadian, that's correct spelling. So, if you see people writing colored this way, that is actually Canadian spelling. Cololoured. So, There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure that all of these lines are nice and tidy and there's no spelling mistakes, because that's the main thing. So I didn't have an author note. I hope you all enjoyed the opening chapter, and I look forward to your comments, because you want to encourage people, right? You want to encourage people to interact with your works, especially on RoyalRoad, because, well, interaction is part of it. Poll. Yeah. I always add a poll to things every now and then, just because, like, it gets more people. Number of answers per user. Lock comments? No, we're not going to lock the comments. So we're going to save the changes now. That's the most minuscule amount of editing I have ever done in an editing pass. Um, we're going to go on to chapter 2 now, because that first chapter didn't have a lot to do with it. So I got the poll set up in that pass. I got a note on the top. We scroll down, right? We read through. Our customers, or our readers, our audience, will see that I hope you enjoyed the opening chapter. Boom, there we go. Note from me. There's my PayPal and my Patreon, because I set that up. So if people go ahead and open link, now I'm going to just make sure you can see this too. Yep. Okay. So this is PayPal, right? So I clicked on my own PayPal link just to show you guys. Once it loads. Hurry up. Come on, computer. I don't know why you take so long. It takes so long. Well, I think you guys get the... Oh, it's illegible. I gotta fix that then. So I clearly have to fix my PayPal link in RoyalRoad. So usually if they click there, they would be taken to my PayPal, but I gotta update the link. Uh, then there's the Patreon link. Now, this you guys may be a little bit more into, because this is on every page of, or every chapter that you post on RoyalRoad. If you have donations set up, right? If you have your monetization set up. I don't have any Patreons yet, I don't think. I haven't checked in a couple days, because, well, most people don't sign up, so I don't look regularly. But, see you guys, I've got my own Patreon here. Let's go to the insights, like so I do have a Patreon, guys. I'm gonna go to my insights. See? No members, no money yet. So I'll close that. But that's just so you guys know. So, I actually should probably give you guys my Patreon link in the description. So I'm gonna leave that open. So I don't forget later. Okay. So we are now going to go back to A Witch's Life, The Bloodline Curse. And we are going to edit Chapter 2. So it goes Visit Dashboard, right? Now we go in here. We go Show More, because we're going all the way back down to Chapter 2. Hopefully that one has a few more mistakes. I'm going to do a full editing pass of everything in here, guys. Full editing pass. So this may take a little bit, but this will give you guys an idea of what I do to edit and how I go about it. And RoyalRoad, I figured, would be the best way to record this for you guys because, well, you know, it's a pretty good platform to write on. And personal. Okay, come on. What's going on? Oh no. Come on, show more. I'm just gonna kick the Patreon. I can open it later. Show more. Here we go. Okay, so I gotta wait because Patreon kills the net on my laptop. Got it. The Crescents of Night is chapter 2. So we're gonna do another editing pass real quick, okay? So we got the note. We did that this time. I forgot to do it on the first chapter, so thankfully I did it on this one. Um, see, Magical. So I get a little into my writing sometimes, and I do speed write. So at times when I'm in those moments, why is this? That's weird. So it has to be seriously fixed. This one, because the formatting's all wrong. You see what I'm saying? Formatting is all wrong, and it's fixing it as I go. Oh, that's a pain in my butt. See, I like to have an extra space in my formatting. Okay, so, anyways, back to the editing pass. Okay. Kind of, no, we don't have any spelling mistakes there. Don't have any grammar there. That's supposed to be like that. So again, you will get expressives like that come into dialogue, like oh. Those oftentimes will be considered spelling mistakes. Don't worry about that in particular. Just make sure you know what you're actually writing there. Like, again, right? Like, actually, the only reason that might be spelt wrong is because I have. Okay. So, yeah, even right? Like, that should not be a spelling mistake. That's just like magic. That is actually the way I intended on spelling it originally. I'm going to revert it back to C. Snarkily. See, I know that's a word, so I'm gonna add that to the dictionary, guys, because snarkly is definitely a word. Like, I'm not uneducated that way. I'm pretty clever when it comes to my words. So sometimes you'll actually wind up knowing more than your dictionary as well. Um, it's possible. I go through that a lot. I mean, okay, my Patreon is already linked in there, so that's redundant. That's driving me nuts. I'm seeing that at the bottom. Okay, so this needs a space here. And then Shalintha Certus. Character name, not a spelling error. See? So you gotta also know when you have a character name that will be obviously wrong. Um, I guess in this case it would be ER, not RE. So this is what I mean, guys. You gotta kind of rule out what works and what doesn't, right? Oh, of course, this one works prop. That drives me nuts. Oh my god. Yeah. Jeez. Okay, so we're gonna make sure these are all spelled. Wendell's is two L's. And thank you all for reading. Feel free to look at my website, https canrosenovels.ca. I guess I forgot the www dot, didn't I? There we go. Or show support through my Patreon page. See, Patreon should not be, if anything, it should be auto-correcting this to be capitalized. Like, okay then. Anyways, that is a second chapter that we have done a pass through in a matter of like 10 minutes, I think. Let's see. What are we at? What are we at? Okay, a little over 15 minutes, so. I mean, that's not a terrible idea. So, click here if you don't want to wait any longer. I don't want to wait any longer. I want to get right in. So hopefully this is a very helpful way. So again, we're going to go edit chapter. I'm going to do this for at least a few chapters for you guys. That didn't sound right. You guys. Okay, well, I'm going to make sure I at least do one more chapter of editing. And depending on how much editing has to be done, I just edited this chapter. Oops. So we're going to go Witch's Life, go to chapter 3. See, I do make mistakes, but they're not, like, detrimental. If you guys listen to how I speak on a lot of things, you may want to get a thesaurus, because sometimes I use rather articulate vocabulary. So, oh no. Oh no. What is this? Oh no. Okay, I definitely have to edit this. So, chapter 3 is where the editing actually starts. Got it. The first two chapters are iron, but then all of a sudden you see this. It's just like, what is going on here? There we go. At least it's no longer stacked on each other. Jeez. Okay, so we're just making sure it's spacing and formatting right now as well. I'm keeping my eye out for spelling mistakes, grammatical errors, and other things that my software would pick up on. That colored one. Yeah, no, that's correct, guys. Oh my lord. People gotta stop letting me know, by the way, that I spell color wrong, because I really don't. It's spelled the way I spell it as a Canadian. If you're American, no, sorry, English spells that two different ways, and if you don't like that, that's not my fault. Take it up with the creators of the language. You know, take it to the people that derived from Latin. Like, oh, I actually think I should do a video at some point talking about the Latin language, because that's actually really cool, and I have a video that would do, like, I have seen this video before, and it would do a lot of helpful information to make me be able to explain my thoughts on words and linguistics and phonetics, which is honestly one of my favorite sciences. I would probably be make I probably would like to make a couple of videos about that, not gonna lie. Oh, wrong button. Enter, there we go, that's what I wanted to hit. Sometimes I'm not looking and I'm just like, oh hey. Again, favor, that is Canadian spelling for favor. Uh, enter. See, oh boy. But yeah, it's just minor things for the most part when I go through my books. Like, I don't see too many mistakes that occur. Don't forget to... There we go. And there's 3 chapters of editing in about 20 minutes. So, I think you guys are starting to see the process. It's rather repetitive. So next chapter, because we can do that now. Edit The War of the Pink Moon. This is chapter 4. Now, I know I'm probably doing this way too fast for you guys to actually read any of the content. I'm thinking I'm going to actually read this book to you guys at some point. I don't know. If you think you would like me to read books of my own writing on here for you guys, put that in the comments. Let me know. I think that would be interesting to do at some point, but I'll let you guys answer that for me in the comments for A. That was not supposed to be 2 words, or 1 word, it was supposed to be 2. Okay, there we go. Spacing, formatting, la-di-da, decor. See, that's another thing. The little accent aigu. Yes, I'm saying the French way. The little, le petit accent aigu. The little accent there goes from decor to decor. So, accent, the little accent on the top there, goes making it from core to decor. And that's why decor becomes decor. It's actually French. Pour l'accent aigu. Because the accent on top of the E. Uh, I'm speaking a lot of French all of a sudden on here. I didn't think I'd be talking any French on there. Don't mind me. I can sometimes I get a little mixed up and I go back to my roots of how I grew up, and I grew up in a French home, so there's a little tidbit of information for you with me. I also grew up in a very difficult home. We'll say. Oh, ut asilia sto. That's Latin. Okay, so of course it's going to come back as a spelling error, but that is Latin, and I know that is spelled right. So this is, again, you got to use your deductive reasoning when you're doing your editing. But overall, guys, it's not like it's a super hard thing to do. Now, these first 2 are deliberate misspells because sen, because first time hearing of the family, right? Context. Sphernatine family. Sen, sphernatine, right? So that makes sense. I did it as a struggle, a display of struggle with the name. So I think that works fine. So again, these are all different things you can consider. I know I'm not really condensed with it. I'm not going to add any more post-author comments for the rest of this video, just because there's no need. And I don't want to wait any longer. So again, now you've seen that there's not a lot that has to be done to my chapters right now, because I've already done a lot of editing passes. But as we get into the later chapters of this book, there's going to be more and more that shows up. And usually they're very minor mistakes that I have, but this just kind of shows you the practice that you should get into. I might add a poll on this. this chapter and see if I can get engagement. I want to find out who's uh, who your favorite sister is. So, like, out of my audience altogether, I want to find out who the favorite sister is, because they both have their own respective personalities and traits. So again, you've seen that I did have to fix a little bit with my punctuation back there a bit, and most of this is formatting because it doesn't copy and paste right. So again, I'm just going to keep spacing this out. And mainly that's what my editing passes consist of, until I actually notice I've made a few mistakes or something doesn't make sense. And so far everything's making sense. That's a term, slang, derogatory, so that's fine. Da, 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 da. So I'm thinking, guys, that see, that's why I do these editing passes, because sometimes there's small little things, but as you can tell, it's mostly just spacing. And can I bring books? Okay, guys, so we are almost entirely done this. 1937 words. Like, I don't think I have to add a lot to this. It's just mainly formatting and making sure it all looks nice and make sure that the grammar and everything is proper the way I intended it, because there is not spelling errors so far. The ethereal realm. Did I just do this? No, I didn't. I had to go looking down just to see. So edit chapter, move this forward as I adjust my seat the way I sit. Because, frankly, I like to be comfortable. And, whoop, I don't want to do that. I want to see that I'm actually centered in the camera. There we go. Did something not format right. Right here. So we go boom, boom, boom. See, even with my editing passes, sometimes I miss things. The ethereal realm. That was actually a good chapter. I like that chapter. I like most of my books. I write what I would want to read, um, because most of what I want to read isn't really out there. Most, not all, but most. Because, like, I'm pretty picky on certain elements of a book when it comes to my entertainment, at least. So I figured if I write what I like to read, there's got to be other people that like to read what I like to read to some extent. And that's where the premise of my novels started, is just write what I love to read. Be entertained by even my own writing. So we're just going to continue doing these editing passes through these chapters just to make sure they're all nice, tidy, and yeah. Okay, so luggage, me, ask, arm. Minimus is Latin. Again, I use Latin for a lot of my magic and uh, Earth-based worlds, I should say, because I will derive my own words and create my own linguistics for non-Earth-like worlds. Like if they have elves or oh look, I forgot to put apostrophe. Very minor mistakes, right? That's what I'm saying. It's most of the time my editing is not a lot of editing. I am my own editor, and I I haven't had an editor. I don't really want one. I don't have an agent. Don't really want one. I know my way around contracts and terms and stuff. So like, as far as I care, if people want, they can approach me. And well, I've already approached other places. I've turned down contracts a couple of times now, guys. So, and the only reason is because I believe in my creative integrity. So not everybody will see it the same way. Next chapter, edit chapter. As you can tell, there's not a lot of editing mistakes in my work. So like, I don't have to edit a lot. There's not a lot of mistakes because I try to do my best to write it out the first time. I try. Doesn't work all the time, but I try. And with that being said, it leaves me with a lot less editing to do. So it would take me 6 to 8 hours of editing only would wind up taking me like an hour and a half or 2 hours because of how much I've already prevented. Like quandary, right? But yet quander is quandary. So see, quander, that is correct. So I'm going to add that to the dictionary because they're missing a word. I was deliberate. Sometimes you will deliberately misspell things as well. This needs hyphenation. And the thing is sometimes the grammar that you will see in a novel is not how you would formally write. So formal writing is not novel writing, right? So one thing you guys gotta know in these author's assistance videos is that some of it is discernment, some of it is choice, and some of it is actual English ruling. Most of it is English rules, though. But they don't follow the same sets of rules as, say, writing a letter or writing um, a book, right? Like a short story, you might write it very formally, and that's because, like, you're just condensing everything, right? So some people write very formally in their short stories, but am I going to want to write formal in a book about war? Yeah, again, right? These are how your voice matters, right? Your choices and how you portray yourself in your books matters. But I think you guys are getting the gist of what this editing pass looks like, because we are slowly getting to what part are we on? The current champion and hallucinations. I think that's like what, chapter 10 or something. I don't know. We'll check in a bit. But I'm gonna just try to cruise through all of the editing as much as I can. And hopefully we don't have a crazy long video for you guys to watch about editing, because I don't like leaving really long videos for you guys, but I know that some of the stuff that we talk about in these author's assistance videos just can't be summarized in 2 minutes or 3 minutes, let alone 10 sometimes. And if you want, the way I approach these is so that you can follow how I do it. If you guys want to do the way I do or use some of the programs I use, um, sometimes it's just a matter of that. I forgot to capitalize that sentence. Um, so that's just it. We gotta keep in mind that our discernment is a very key aspect. Our phrasing is always a key aspect. And instead of lightly, I'm going to say in a shallow breath because that's a stronger sentence. Now, if you don't know what I mean by strong sentences, this is actually some useful information. A strong sentence, okay, so like, I don't know. Let's see. Like, gets discomforting, right? So if a weaker sentence um, has been, right, is past tense. So it technically can be stronger, but has become instead of is. See? Because it's still present tense, but it's stronger than is. And yeah, so sometimes you gotta make those calls, guys. Touche. Yes, I actually used touche again in a book. Well, not again in a book, but like we've seen it so many times. That's why I say it, said it as again. Because touche, and it's used like all of the time. It's such a stereotype in books. Like, I haven't read a book that doesn't have somebody say touche at least once. Just because, like, yeah, some people they gotta have their little classics in there, right? For me, one of those classics is touche. I absolutely love that phrase. It sounds so funny. It sounds like you're saying touche, but you're not. You're saying touche, which is to touch or to touch. Yes, to touch. That's what it was. Touche, to touch. But I just did that chapter. What am I doing? No. Go back. The car enchantments and hallucinations. Okay, so let's take a look at how far we are. Yeah, see, we're almost done all of the editing. So that tells you guys right there. So I'm gonna finish off editing with this, and then um, with that being said, I will end the video, and that will be our editing video for author's assistance for now until you guys decide to ask more questions about the process. Feel free again in the comments, more than welcome to. I encourage questions. If I do know the answer, I will come up with a video as quickly as possible for your answers to be looked at. I am also working on another world building video that will be coming out, but I also have an NHL video coming out soon too, guys, so you're going to want to keep an eye on this. What chapter is this? Missing in action. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't even see any formatting mistakes. That's a that's a new one. So we're gonna go to the next chapter, I guess. Missing in action. Next chapter. Eh? What happened? Fiction page. Oh, we are not close to done yet. We're almost halfway through. uh, I thought it was the other way. There we go. See, I thought we were reading it this way. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, this is going to be too long of a video. I'm going to stop after this chapter for you guys because it's going to be too long of a video if I keep doing this. Because there's a lot of editing in in a book, but at least at this point you guys get the idea, and that's kind of the gist of what I want to do here is just give you an idea of what it looks like to edit your books, and um, obviously newer writers will have a lot more editing than what I have to do, but that's just part of level of experience, how you write and stuff like that, right? So, okay, let's format this because this is just a chunk of text, and I don't like the blocky look of that. So, there we go. Done. That, and we're gonna go over here and break that apart here, here. We're gonna break this up. Okay. Again, I don't get why odor. Okay. Okay, America, production companies for computers need to seriously start adding the English language, all of it, to the keyword, not just what is in the United States, because this is annoying. Half the time I'm being told I'm spelling stuff wrong when I'm not. Like that's annoying. So if you guys know a computer electronics people, like let them know. The most annoying thing for Canada is that our spelling is always wrong, and it's not. OUR is a legitimate way of spelling things, guys. It's legit. Okay, anywho. Me and my weirdness. Okay, we're gonna go here, and here, and we're good. So save changes. And I think that will mark the end of this video, guys. Uh, I have the description to this video ready to go already, um, as this is a video that I had in mind for a little while now, but I really hope you enjoyed this, because we got to look at what I do for an editing pass. For how many chapters do we edit today? Just to kind of show you guys. So we went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10 chapters out of the 21 I have published. So yeah, and if you guys want more videos about RoyalRoad, feel free to comment that as well. If you want to know more about A Witch's Life, feel free to ask about that in the comments as well. If there's enough questions, I will make a dedicated video for A Witch's Life. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you guys all have a fantastic day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow me. Like, if you're on Rumble, follow my account. Um, Hit my website up, you know where I am. I'm not hard to find. Um, so I hope this author's assistance editing preview would be helpful. Um, and if there's any other video ideas you guys would like to see for a writer or author that is coming up, feel free to let me know. Put that comment down. If you have to, tag me, like at Camrose, you know, the at symbol. It works, I think. So, anyways, there is going to be a subscribe thing here. There's going to be a video here and a playlist up there. So, ciao for now.